Greetings, everyone. I am Sister Danielle X here on behalf of the Silent Crime. And guess what today, you all? I have special guest, Brother Paul Muhammad from Atlanta by way of St. Louis. We're going to have this conversation about what we really need to talk about, which is this Amber Alert situation and what search and rescue looks like. And we hear these things in our phone. We get notifications, we get text messages, we get emails sometimes, and depending on what kind of format you have set up, and people missing, children missing, women missing. But the question is, what about us? It's not often that it comes through for us. And so, of course, being a silent crime, we want to be able to cover as much territory as possible when it comes to these things about not just sex trafficking, not just domestic violence, but of course, this is a major topic. Search and rescue of our missing women, children, and men who go missing daily. So I want to go ahead and introduce Brother Paul Muhammad, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Greetings to you, Sister Danielle X. And
Yes,
the Silent Crime Report is a blessing and honor to always come on the show and share what Allah has blessed me to know. So I thank you and I appreciate you bringing me on to the show. And it's always an honor.
yes, indeed. This is round two, right? Round
Absolutely.
two. Yes.
Absolutely.
The first time we were able to get this
Bring,
information across, it was awesome then. But I want to be able to get deeper into the conversation about sex trafficking, of course, and then definitely hitting this key of this Amber Alert, Brother Paul. But before we go into that, can you kind of give the world a bio, a snippet of who you are and what you do?
well, I am Brother Paul Muhammad. I am a member of the Nation of Islam and have been for the last 24 years of my life. Um, I have a background in engineering, electronics, and also digital entertainment, game development, and various other backgrounds in emergency management training, emergency communications training, search and rescue training, organizing emergency operations centers training, and the list goes on and on and on. And those trainings has afforded me the opportunity to be involved in a number of different things. And had it not been for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I wouldn't even have the mindset to even look into these things and see the significance of these things. So that's my background in a nutshell.
Yes, sir. Of course, you cannot forget.
Oh
He's
yes.
also a proud member of what?
Uh-oh, the 10,000 fearless first responders. I am the emergency communications coordinator for the team. All
Yeah.
praise is due to Allah.
Praises be to Allah by our dear sister, our national coordinator, Sister Christina Muhammad, and her dear husband, Brother Reginald Muhammad. They
That's
work
right.
it, they work it. So it's an honor to be able to definitely not just call ourselves 10,000 fearless. I see you and I got my garment on, right? We're
Yes,
working it.
ma'am.
I'm
That's
going to be
right.
able to definitely shout out to them, our team across the nation, by the chance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We follow our instructions to the best of our ability. So I want to be able to give her that part as well because she is a key
Absolutely.
component in this.
They
So
work very
she
hard.
has brought much to our attention, Brother Paul. Sister Christina has over the years. But we're talking about this Amber Alert, right? So can you kind of go over what the structure of an Amber Alert is and why?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Give me a second. All right. An Amber Alert is a child abduction emergency alert.
Mhm.
The acronym is also an acronym for America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response. Well, a backronym, what they call a backronym.
Mhm.
And it was named after a young lady by the name of Amber Hagerman, who was 9 years old and murdered in Arlington, Texas in 1996. I
Yes, sir.
believe it was.
Yeah.
And so it's named after her. So it is a system that's set up to find missing children.
Mhm. Yes. So we have these notifications that come through our phones. And it goes until you acknowledge it. It keeps binging, ding, 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 ding in your phone. Why do we get it via text message? Not on television or another form of communication via email sometimes, but why is it via text?
Well, statistically, more people have phones than
Mhm.
anything else. You're more likely to be in front of your phone than a television today.
Mhm.
So it only makes sense to use that as a medium to communicate what's going on as it relates to Amber Alerts.
Okay. Yes, sir. So you have it come through. Now, what once the correspondence come through, what organizations are affiliated or help to structure the Amber Alerts?
It's mostly law enforcement is your first line of defense, is your law enforcement, your local law enforcement, and then they disseminate it to the region and so on and so forth.
Mhm. So we have these individuals, the WEA and the FCC. Then you have FEMA as well
Okay, yeah.
that help to be able to break these things. They're the
So
ones who help to get the information out, right?
yes, and FEMA is your Federal Emergency Management Agency who deals with emergency management. So they coordinate emergency. So when there's a emergency going on, they coordinate. And sometimes you have FEMA on the county level
Mm-hmm.
and the state level, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have FEMA on a national level. So like in Georgia, it's called GEMA,
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Emergency Management Agency. When I was in East St. Louis, they actually had an emergency manager in the police station. They had one emergency manager in the police station. So when there were suicides and different things like that, so they basically coordinate. They're not first responders per se, but they coordinate the first responders and do the handle mitigation and things like that, and resources and things like that. And then you have the FCC, of course, is the Federal Communications Commission. So
Mm-hmm.
they govern and regulate communication.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one you mentioned was CTIA, which I believe stands for it's a trade association, it's a nonprofit, and it stands for Cellular Telecommunication Industry Association. And now and later on they changed the name to add an internet to it.
Wow.
So Cellular Telecommunications Internet Association or industry, which they represent cellular companies and
Okay.
things like that. So it's an association
Mm.
that handles that.
That's a lot. So you have all these people, these organizations coming together to get this correspondence out to the world via text message, which is the easiest way to correspond to our people, right? Everybody has a cell phone, be it prepaid, be it whatever the case may be.
That's right. You
People
got
have
one.
cell phones. So it's hands, right? It's right here, or on your hip. So it's good. Now we're looking at the structure of the Amber Alerts, Brother Paul. When it comes through, you have, and I always ask this question to myself, why are you only getting a snippet of information? You got
Hmm.
like 10 words or 5 words or 20 words in this correspondence. Why is the details of an individual, his hair color, her hair color, the car they were in, why is it not a longer correspondence
Yeah,
than
and
that?
that's the problem. That's the question that we have to pose today, and that's the reason why we have to develop new systems, because the information is not either accurate or it's not enough
Mhm.
information. And then when you make the report, the law enforcement has to be able to believe that the child is in imminent danger
Yes.
or
Yes.
seriously bodily injury or death. They have to believe that. So they're left with the discretion to make that determination.
Mhm.
When um, to leave that discretion in someone's hands like that is dangerous within itself,
Yeah.
because the fact that they're missing, it should be enough.
Yes, sir. Because if I come to the police department, you're an officer or an investigator, and I tell you my son is missing, and then you tell me what?
Well, how long he ain't been missing? Either he ain't been missing long enough, uh, or I get personal about it. She's tripping. She's
Hmm.
just emotional. He not in
Hmm.
no danger or nothing like that. That happens all the time over there in that neighborhood. So
Yes.
it's dangerous.
Wow. So they immediately assume it's a quote unquote runaway before they even touch the case, if at all, and they label it runaways. Why?
That's right.
Why does it have to be that case? And oftentimes, if we were able to, Brother Paul, get a correspondence for each person that's missing daily, our phones will never stop going off.
That's right. And
Because in Texas, a child is missing every 3 minutes.
see, when there's no love in the law, it's really not law at all. You know, there's no love and compassion in it. So you put a compassionate person in it that's got love, they're gonna see things a little differently, especially when you're an advocate for these type of things. Your heart goes out to or if you ever experienced a missing child in your family, or someone missing in your family, or someone as a victim of sex trafficking, or just a victim of abuse, your heart is going to be different when it comes to that. It's not just going to be some standard operating procedure. You're going to go above and beyond to try to aid and assist these folks or these people.
Yeah, because I mean, I can only imagine, again, for me, if I go and report to you that as the investigator, my son has been missing for 24 hours, right? 24 hours. You have to be able to look at those things like, how does that even matter? What, I mean, what happened? What's going on? You know, they have to be able to ask you a billion questions on your child missing. It's like, why does that matter when I'm telling you my child went out of normal procedure? He normally comes home at between 5 and 5:30 every day, and he did not do that. He's not answering his phone, and I'm worried as a parent. And they tell you you have to wait 24 hours.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So
As
that's
a mother, as a father, as an uncle, that's worrisome. What were you saying?
so those are key problems that
Mhm.
warrant us to look into developing a new system of our own.
Absolutely, absolutely. So going as we go into that, Brother Paul, why is it important right now that we must and have to make our own system to help our people in our communities, the brown communities, and in the red nation as well? Excuse me.
because sex trafficking and human trafficking is becoming more of an issue day by day, is especially in our community.
Yes, sir.
Um, there was one time where I didn't even understand. I thought it was something that happened only on TV. You know, I didn't know the
Mm.
severity of it until I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico once,
Mhm.
and our Mexican brothers and sisters there was asking me to help take a stand with them against sex trafficking, and I thought they had made a mistake. So I was like, "You mean drug trafficking?" And they was like, "No, sex trafficking." I'm like, "No, you mean drug trafficking?" They was like, "No, sex trafficking." I'm like, "What?" You
Hmm.
know, and it just dawned on me like, wow, this is really a major issue. And then
Mhm.
I learned that a city within Missouri, Kansas City, was number 3
Mm.
for sex trafficking at that time, and it just kind of blew my mind, and it
Yeah.
made me think differently. And when I had my own experience where we was a friend of mine whose daughter came up missing, and we were helping to track her down, and just to see everything we were going through, to look at the camera at the Greyhound bus station to see if she got back
Wow.
on the bus, to learn that they were using the back pages to lure in young ladies who want to be a model. You know, most young girls and most ladies, they like, feel some kind of way about how they look, so they want to model and look good, and so they using that as a bait to
Mhm.
lure them in. And next thing you know, they travel somewhere thinking they're gonna become a model and come up missing. So these are serious, serious matters and
Yeah.
issues, and there are people turning a profit for these things, and looking at human beings like they are a product, you know,
Yes.
like this they gross national product or something. And I'm talking about even people from our own community involved in this kind of
Yes.
thing. So this is very serious. So we definitely and then there's so much missing information, and information you can't even find. So if you go
Mm.
to say the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children
Mhm.
for Georgia alone, it shows only 130. And I'm sure
130.
it's a lot more than that throughout the state of Georgia. There's just not a lot of missing information. And if you click on one of them, it's only one picture of the
Yes.
person.
You scroll down, you may scroll maybe twice, and
Yes,
and it's over. Like,
that's it. Like no
that's
more
it.
information. Or it's so many of them they've given up the search.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have to deputize our own search and rescue teams.
Be able to. Sister Christina had mentioned this before in the past with the team establishing this thing to make it happen, because again, for her, she sees and knows that it's not being reported properly. We're not getting the proper news feed updates. It's not on CNN, and unfortunately it's a reality, you all. It's happening to everybody. It happens to every race. It's a reality, but we have to can't forget the fact that Black children are not updated. Black women missing is not updated.
It's not updated. That's right.
You know, I mean, I guarantee you that if a white child came up missing, they're gonna have the drones out, Brother Paul. They're gonna have the helicopters
The
out.
dogs out.
They're gonna have the Godiva dogs out. They're gonna have people on boots on the ground looking for this child. They're gonna find them, right? But for us, we get found months later in trunks of cars, abused, beat up, dead, organs missing, right? Abandoned, even children found in a wooded area, shaken, haven't eaten in days, and no one ever came to come look for them. And their pattern of this activity is nothing new, right? You know,
Right.
we've been missing since what, 1555 to be
Yeah,
exact.
and
But
and if the
but
Constitution, and if the very Constitution only look at us as 3/5 of a human being, that could speak into why we're only 3/5 of a human being anyway, so we're not gonna get the same treatment as a human being that is 100% in their eyesight.
or even Fido come up missing. Fido's missing, y'all. He got posters on the poles on the street. Fido is on the website. Fido in the Walmart glass window. Fido's everywhere.
Well, he's a best friend though. See, he's the best friend. We're not. So that's why he's gonna get that kind of treatment. So it's how we're viewed. So this is the reason that we have to do for self or suffer these consequences.
And saying that we suffer and our people, our communities suffer and not even realizing the damage it's causing, not just for right now, but for months from now, Brother Paul.
That's
you know,
right.
looking at my child missing, it won't just affect me, it affects everyone who's involved with my life, be co-workers, mosque or church members, my family, my friends, people that knew my child. It affects it. So why we have to be able to get these things aligned must happen. So the Amber Alert and that emergency response management has to be a priority for us. And those who are interested in helping to build this thing, you all, we must move swiftly in making these things happen. Because a child comes up missing every 3 minutes in Dallas.
Wow.
Right? Go sit down for 3 minutes in your time and watch your clock for an hour. While you're watching TV, cut the timer on. Have your phone go off every 3 minutes. Have your child, while you're in the car, at home watching TV, cooking dinner, have your phone go off for an hour every 3 minutes to feel what that looks like. Kind of get an idea of how often that really is happening, because we're not really thinking about it because it's not affecting you individually right now. You think, right? But it's really damaging our communities.
That's right.
So our children are missing, women are missing, Brother Paul, men are missing. And it's a very unfortunate thing. We have to move fast. We talk a lot, you know, what I want to do for the community, what I want to make happen, but what are we really doing to help make these things happen? Talking time is over.
Good question.
Good question. What do we do? What do we do?
First and foremost, stop depending on others to do for us that which we should do for our own self. That's first and foremost. And then we got to get practical. You know, get practical. We sit back sometimes and say, oh, they're not going to let that happen. We say they are not going to let that happen. So now we got to turn they on the we dial. We got to turn the we dial on and start dealing with what we need to do as it relates to our own children. It's something with as much technology as we have that we can't even locate a small child. You know, they come up missing. So we got to have, in creating our own, if you allow me to speak into this, our own Amber Alert system, we got to create our own application for one, that, and have all our people download that application, right? Because we might not be able to utilize FEMA. We might not be able to utilize the CTI. That's them again. You know, that's their system. They might put us through so much red tape if we try to go that route. So we can create our own application and get everyone to download this application. And then we create task force, the 10,000 Fearless Task Force in every city, in every state that's there, that when that happens, immediately go and take charge. Immediately do perform search and rescue, and just have them put the data in. So if little JoJo come up missing right now, his mother goes put the data in, and we don't try to sit back and determine if it's fraudulent or or if it's dangerous or not. The fact that she said he been missing for an hour, a couple hours, you
Mhm.
know, we dispatch someone there from 10,000 Fearless to aid and assist in that situation and
Yes.
get some coverage.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, where was
I
he
love
last
it.
seen? You
Yes,
know,
sir. Because it's even for me on social media, brother Paul, when we get those notifications of a picture of a child and it has the word found on it in red letters, that's an
yeah,
excellent for me. Like, oh,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because to even imagine, and that child went through whatever they went through, they accumulated many engrams, right? They went through trauma, even if it wasn't the severe traumatic, thing for us. We think that, sex trafficking, it could just be him missing or her
That's right.
missing.
Abuse is abuse.
That to me, a child missing in a grocery store and can't find their parent, that child went
That's
through some
traumatic.
trauma.
That's traumatic.
Like we have to be able to know that. And also to you all viewers, I want you all to say these things or see these things, excuse me. When you're in the grocery store or even walking around at a park and a child is standing by themselves, you know what frantic looks like? Frantic. They're franticing, they're panicking, they're nervous. Oh my goodness. Say something. Don't just say, that's not my child. Oh, she's a white child. Oh, she's a black child. And ignore them and leave them there. Because I guarantee you, Mr. Jimmy or Ray Ray and them see that as money. And then you're going to feel bad because you're going to watch the news that night or months from now and see that child on the news and you're like, dang, I seen that child and did nothing. Because I guarantee you, if it was your child, you're going to want all reinforcement. You're going to want every possible person to help you find your child, your nephew,
And that's
your
key.
cousin.
That's
Yes,
key.
sir.
When
Yes,
Mike
sir.
when Mike Brown was killed and left in cold blood, I was saying, I said, you gotta treat that like, what if that was your son?
Man.
What urgency, what sense of urgency would you have if that was your child laying there? So we got to take that the same way. When I get those Amber Alerts on there, I be like, man, I be praying that whoever this child is, that they find this child, you know. And the situation I had back in St. Louis where we helped find the young girl, it was so I can't even describe the feeling that I had with the fact that she was recovered and that we drove from St. Louis to Kansas City and back, which is approximately 4 hours there, almost, and 4 hours back, looking
Mm,
for her. And the
yeah.
mother had no one else, had nobody that could take her. I just saw it on Facebook. I saw
Mhm.
her posted on Facebook and she was just frantic. And I'm like, and I went to middle school with her. So I reached out to her, got information from her, said, look, we'll take you, and we took her. You
Man, it's
know,
amazing. Amazing. Those who are just not joining into this conversation, I have special guest, Brother Paul Muhammad, and we are covering information on Amber Alerts, why it's important that we create our own app, as Brother Paul shared on that, and the importance of awareness, pretty much. Not just the sex trafficking part, but the missing of a child, a woman, or a man. We have to definitely open our eyes. So he's bringing a lot of stuff to surface on what we must do and should do to be able to stop the bleeding in our communities of this very unseen silent crime, I say, that we don't really respond the way we should to be able to stop this from happening. So thank you all for tuning in. Definitely. Brother Paul, so I'm not sure what the how you look at the whole sex trafficking situation. I know Atlanta is one of the top 10 cities that deal with sex trafficking on a very high level. So, as you being a resident in Atlanta, how do you feel when you hear a child or a woman or even a man and boy were involved in
oh,
sex trafficking?
it's devastating to me, and it should be classified as a disaster and not just
Hmm.
a crime. Um,
Hmm.
I recently saw a sister that I've known back in St. Louis. I hadn't seen her in a long time, and now I see her on Instagram, and she does little videos. And one of her videos, she was saying that she was in sex trafficking, and
Right.
I'm like, in my mind, I can't imagine what that's like
Hmm.
and the trauma that will come along with that. Somebody actually kidnapped you and was doing whatever they do in those situations for a long extended period of time, and you're still here now to tell your story, and not but this trauma. So it's devastating to me. And I work in code enforcement, so I hear about it a lot more than most people do,
Wow.
because code enforcement is called to the scene in certain places where they're doing what we call permitted uses. So they taking a one business, they say this is what our business license is, but they operate in a total different business. And one of those businesses is sex trafficking or um strip club type thing situation. And so you got situations like that. So I hear about it and I'm exposed to it a lot in my
Man.
job. Uh, so we have to be leery. So you can have a whole bit, people can have a whole business set up and you think this is a certain business, but they really doing another business.
Massage parlors, daycares, moving companies. They transporting bodies. You understand? And we don't even look at it that way. I always, when I'm on the freeway, Brother Paul, I'm riding or driving on the freeway, and I see those big containers on the back of a truck. My
Yep.
mind immediately goes into, I wonder if it's children in there.
Yeah. Same here.
I wonder if it's women in there.
Same
You
here.
know, because we don't know. And they have those big container plot areas where they have a whole bunch of containers, stacked up or whatever for deliveries, be it Walmart, Target, whatever is in that container. But we can't always look at it as just a movie. We watch too much TV because you have to always understand that where the idea come from. They didn't make it up. They're showing it to us as entertainment, but it's something happening in that.
Yeah.
Even the movie, Brother Paul, it's a movie called Dark Tower. And in this movie, Dark Tower, the devil is kidnapping children and creating fear for the child, right? And so the fear of the child causes the child to scream really loud. And in that scream, their goal is to knock this tower down from children of a certain age.
Wow.
And of course you had the brother come in. He's trying to help the child get through, help and whatnot. But the idea is what I'm saying. So where did it come from? We have to keep our eyes open, you all. They do nothing by coincidence. You got this whole Juneteenth thing pumping on TV now. Everybody wants to make it a federal holiday. It's exciting. It's exciting, but it's always a hidden agenda and motive behind what they do. We have to always remember that.
That's right. Absolutely.
Definitely. You can't sleep on them. Pac made that very clear. We can't sleep on them. But yeah, so we go into sex trafficking, we go into search and rescue, Brother Paul. Now, search and rescue. We have a child missing in our community. We want to go search them for ourselves. We can't rely on the government to do anything for us. Now, what do we do to have an established team go out and search for our own people? What does that look like?
First, we got to get that training established.
Yes.
So that, and then solicit. First, we do a soft market solicitation to see how many people will be interested if such exists. That's how you create your soft market. And then when those people opt in to that soft market, then we reach out to them, then let them know when the training will be going on. And then we establish the training. And within that training, we're training them what to look for, how to look, and what tools to use in looking for, whether it's the drone technology, whether it's the thermal imaging camera, and things of that nature. And develop forums and ways that the community can volunteer as well with the team. So those, they may not want to be trained, but they might want to help some kind of way. So we want to open the doors for volunteerism as well in the search. So you got your foot search, you got your aerial search, and then now they have thermal imaging cameras you can put on your phone. So those who are on foot can go in with the thermal imaging and night vision. You want your night vision as well. So we utilize the technology so that the lion that's trapped in the cage can find a door at a faster pace. Because we trapped in this cage called sex trafficking right now.
Yeah, we are. Sex trafficking, organ harvesting, domestic violence, molestation, Brother Paul. But it goes on of a list. There's so much involved in what we have going on right now. It's a very unfortunate manner that our people, the people, are suffering from these disasters, you mentioned these man-made disasters that have to stop because it's killing and damaging generations. That's not fair.
That's
and
right.
and when people are missing, everyone wants to go home to their family every day, I'm sure. Even when you have a moment where you're mad at Medea, or you're mad at your mom, or you're mad at your cousin, or whomever it may be, I'm not doing good in school. No one's listening to me. I don't feel heard. Or as a woman, my husband's not listening to me, or my children, whoever it may be. It's a long list. We got to be able to understand everyone wants to go home to their families. We have to make it happen. We can't sleep on this, you all. Because again, Grandmaster Abdullah Aziz teaches about the fact of it's not if it happens, it's when it happens. How are you going to respond? Are you going to respond at all?
That's right.
Or you're going to sit back and say, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. But when it happens at your front door, or when some man comes to you and grabs you from behind, Brother Paul, bear hugging you and shooting your neck with some cocaine, then you're going to say, help. Oh, now you want somebody to come help you, right?
That's right.
It's not that simple.
Like I tell people this, you don't have to believe, but if someone else believes, you will be affected.
Woo, say that again. Say it again.
You don't have to believe, but if someone else believes, you will be affected.
Definitely. Idea. It's an idea. So we covered the Amber Alerts. We have to definitely get our own system, right? We covered the search and rescue. We have to establish our own, get our own Godiva dogs, get our own teams, get our own equipment, invest in these things. If you want to volunteer and help out, 10,000 Fearless, you want to help out in your own communities, you want to help out with the church, whatever the case may be. Right now is the time for us to be able to definitely make some motion happen and get it done. Time for waiting, sitting back. We're losing time. We're losing people. We are merchandise, unfortunately, in this world. We're not considered, again, we're not even considered to be a human being. We are items.
That's right.
I mean, how plainer can it get? The minister has been talking about this for years. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been talking for us for many, many, many years, you all.
Since the forcing of us into their society has now produced very grave results. The black man today is a very angry man. He's angry with white.
I'm the brother you love to hate, trying to elevate my family. Get their minds out the gutter, solve conflict, raise the babies. We walk in the shadows surrounded by predators, trying to plant some good fruit. They know we the poor righteous teachers, set traps every lane, we plant boots, so we can't lose. I refuse, never get our facts from fake news. Keep the world confused, cause these hypocrites breed major blues. A lot of soldiers in jail, and some don't get no mail. Systematic slave code designed for us to fail. Pride before destruction and government standoffs. People losing jobs, robbing, stealing, trying to live long. Stress got a nigga bugging, calculate my next move. Elijah said, do for self, ain't no white man saving you. I know you think that God is white, the devil open playing you. Now it's the black man crushing fools, killing enemies and making rules. It's time to jump up on this arc, be a team player, win a championship. Raise them pairs to remove all fears, constantly dodging these microchips. They hate me without a cause, except that the mission and restrictive laws. Yeah, I know you busters are some liars, so I stay away and watch it all evolve. They hate me without a cause, except that the mission and restrictive laws. Yeah, I know you busters are some liars, so I stay away and watch it all evolve. They hate me without a cause, except that the mission and restrictive laws. Yeah, I know you busters are some liars, so I stay away and watch it all evolve. They hate me without a cause, except that the mission and restrictive laws. Yeah, I know you busters are some liars, so I stay away and watch it all evolve. You don't understand how I'm raised. I'm from Kansas City where we gang bang. Look too close and it'll be your last. Mockingbird, let us sing. We can't stop for y'all to entertain. Shoot the truth, knock out your brains. I'm in it to win it while the coons announce from the secret hand. Change the game, it don't work no more, cause the sister strong like Tamika Mallory, we blood in. Litmus test for the black man while we conquer all our mortal sin. Separation or die, only colonizers wonder why. This false love is show and we dying slow, spraying chemicals in the sky. God came and removed the scales, illusions made in this living hell. Conflict resolution in the hood, cause under pressure niggas don't excel. We ain't satisfied with the crumbs, we the natural owners and the earth is mine. Proper connections and it's so divine, like the black woman when she knows she fine. mind. Spend some life and remove the blinds. These devils know it's hammer time. They just sifting, trying to see the soul. So when it's time, they know what side you claim and ride. 5% lift to 85. It's time to build a holy shrine. Organize, build your mind. Love yourself and watch us all fly. They hate me without a cause, except that the mission and restrictive laws. Yeah, I know you busters are some liars, so I stay away and watch it all evolve. They hate me without a cause, except that the mission and restrictive laws. Yeah, I know you busters are some liars, so I stay away and watch it all evolve. They hate me without a cause, except that the mission and restrictive laws. Yeah, I know you busters are some liars, so I stay away and watch it all evolve. They hate me without a cause, except that the mission and restrictive laws. Yeah, I know you busters are some liars, so I stay away and watch it all evolve.